I'm Joyce Simone. I'm your host for In Conversation, here only on Eastlink Television. Today I have Marianne Marriott with me. Marianne, you're my guest for the whole half hour, and you're here with Haley and Associates. Have I got that correct?
Yes, you do.
Well, due to the economic condition today, a lot of people find themselves in debt. And that's basically what we're going to talk about. How does Haley and Associates play in that?
Well, I think the most important thing we do is give people information. And I think if you talk to someone who is in debt and, you know, not really sure what to do about it, the biggest hurdle or the biggest factor for them is they don't know what to do. They don't know what their options are. They don't know what's available. They're not sure what direction to take. They don't know who to talk to. And so that's where we come in. Basically, we can help them, you know, give them information so they can help find a solution.
And what kind of things lead up to people getting in debt, in a bad situation?
Gosh, there's a loaded question. The reasons that people come to see us, probably, I guess we see a lot of people for things like a marital separation where they used to have combined income, but now it's one income, one household. There's often child support. We see a lot of people who have lost their job for various reasons. I mean, look around you today. There's so many layoffs happening. Sometimes there's an illness that has kept them from working. So they come to us for a lot of different reasons. There's been some major event in their life that has caused them to go off balance financially. I don't know that that's the thing that actually gets them in financial trouble. I think what gets people into financial trouble is a reliance on credit. And, you know, really, again, if you look around at where things are financially, we've really shifted our relationship with credit as consumers and how we use credit in our lives. And that's probably more the underlying reason. And
where is all of the offices located along the South Shore, because this is our listening audience?
Yep, our head office is in Bridgewater, and we have office locations basically from Hubbard's, Bridgewater of course, Liverpool, Shelburne, Barrington Passage, and Yarmouth. And we also meet people at other locations and even on site at their homes if we have to. So if someone doesn't have transportation and can't come to us, for example, then we might be able to make arrangements to go to them. But we do have offices across the South Shore. Some people like to come to the local office because it's convenient. Some people prefer the privacy of going to an office that's not local, so we can really accommodate it on both sides.
And do you go to their homes as well, or?
Yeah, we can. Obviously, we have to, you know, factor in the time sensitivity and making sure that we see everybody that we need to on a timely basis. But definitely, if someone requests it, we can make other arrangements. And ultimately, we want to make sure that if someone does need help, that they're going to get it.
And confidentiality, of course. I guess some people are embarrassed to need your assistance.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I would go so far as to say everyone is embarrassed to need our assistance. I mean, really, talking about your finances is extremely uncomfortable. A lot of people don't talk to their spouse. They aren't comfortable talking to their family and friends. They're certainly not comfortable coming in to a stranger and saying, you know, basically I've got myself into a financial situation and I don't know how to get out of it. So, it really is something that everyone feels when they walk in our door. I think that I can confidently say that they don't feel that way for the most part when they leave. And I think that's something that we really strive to do is, you know, we're all human. We all get in these situations. And if you don't seek help, you know, you're going to have a worse time than if you open up and talk to somebody and look at your options.
And treating people with respect, and they already feel embarrassed, like you said, and treating them with respect, and that it's not the big deal that they had in their own minds.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think the phrase that we hear more often than not when someone leaves is, I can't believe how comfortable you made this. And, you know, I was really afraid to talk about what had happened, but, you know, I really feel like you do understand and you didn't make me feel ashamed. And again, we're all human. I mean, someone coming into my office to see me probably hasn't done anything a whole lot different than I've done or my friends have done or somebody else that I know has done. It's just circumstances lead us all to different positions, and, you know, you take that first step to get away from that.
Now, on the staff, is everybody on an even keel with what they deal with, or are some of the staff dealing with specific situations, or are you all interchangeable?
We're sort of interchangeable. I mean, we do have there's different levels of qualifications. So we do have a trustee in bankruptcy on staff who obviously deals more specifically with different aspects of maybe the bankruptcy process or corporate restructuring. And then we have estate managers who deal more specifically with maybe walking through someone through a settlement offer with their creditors. But most of all, everyone can deal with the same situation, but we have professionals that we can call upon if there's something unique that needs attention.
So if I call you up and say, look, I can't sleep. I am so stressed. My debt is just bothering me. I can't sleep at night. I want to come in and sit down and talk to you about it. What would take me through the steps then that you would, if I was sitting across the counter from you?
Well, the very first thing that we do is really get a sense of the whole financial picture. So the most important thing is to get an idea of where are you financially? What are the pressure points? What's happening right now? Are you just starting to get behind and not really sure what to do about it? Are things beyond that point? Is there legal action pending? Are you at risk of losing your home, your car? You know, have you been served with notice to go to court? So once we get a sense of the severity of the issue, then the next step would be to go through the options. And basically what we do is we look at all the options. So what I find a lot of people will do is they'll take one step. So they might go and talk to their bank manager or banker. And they'll go in and say, well, what can you do? And they'll say, well, we can, you know, do refinancing or a few other things. And they either will take that option because it's the only one they're aware of, or they'll walk away thinking there's no more options. So we go right from the very top to, can you refinance yourself out of debt? Can you budget yourself out of debt? Another thing that, you know, I'm really aware of is the lack of money management skills that we're taught in general and that we carry through our lives with us. And so from there, if that's not an option, can we make some kind of a settlement offer with your creditors? Or do we have to look at something more severe, like some kind of a compromise of your debt or bankruptcy? So we really go through from the top to the bottom all the different solutions that are available.
And look at their monthly income and do 2 columns, what's coming in, what's going out.
Yeah, look at their income and their expenses. And again, you know, that seems so basic, but it's amazing at how many people can lose track of that. So what is your income? What are your expenses? What can you afford to pay per month? And how much debt do you have? And what are you paying to your debt? And, you know, are you overextended credit-wise? You know, so sometimes what they have is manageable, but sometimes what they have isn't manageable. And, you know, it really does depend on each situation.
And is it a case of a lot of people got in deeper than what they ever intended because they just don't know, they don't even know what's coming in and what's going out?
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Yeah, a lot of, well, probably again, a lot of people, obviously the people I see, will, I mean, again, you walk into a financial institution and say, I want to borrow money. And they go, okay, well, based on what you have, this is what you qualify to borrow. Well, just because they say you qualify to borrow that amount and pay that amount per month doesn't mean it fits into your monthly budget. They don't take into account necessarily your lifestyle. They don't take into account, you know, particular family circumstances. And so it's really important that an individual make the decision based on what they can afford. And that doesn't happen. Very often we make decisions based on what somebody else tells us we can afford.
The hospital, there's expenses for me.
Absolutely.
And the banker doesn't even know this, so he doesn't realize or tell you that, look, we really, we're giving you this much, but we don't think you can really handle this.
No, absolutely. And you know, I will say that there certainly are some, you know, bankers out there that really do look at it, but I think, you know, in general, it doesn't happen. And if you just look at, again, financial institutions in general.
Okay, Mary Ann, we're going to take a short pause for the cause. I have a cold today, so forgive me if I'm a little bit hoarse. I'll be right back with In Conversation, only here on Eastlink Television. I'm your host, Joyce Simone.